welcome to episode 193 of
The Eldritch Podblast.
I'm Mags.
I'm Jack.
And we are a Dungeons & Dragons social commentary channel, but we focus
channel.
on the social aspect of D&D.
We give out advice to players and dungeon masters, old and new.
But most importantly, we believe in creating a safe, inclusive, and welcome space in the TTRPG community.
So if that sounds good to you, welcome in.
Hey, we saved a seat for you. It's right here.
Yeah.
Hey, look.
Oh, the dog's in it.
Oh,
You'll have to sit down there then.
Awkward. Yeah, you can sit on the floor.
You can sit on the dog's bed.
Yeah.
How about
You can
that?
sit on the floor. Yeah, perfect.
You alright with sitting on the dog's bed?
Dog's bed's there. Yeah.
Right there.
You know, it's cozy. Yeah.
There will be a power imbalance as we will be up here.
Yeah, but that's fine.
And you will be down there.
You can sit at the feet. It's fine. You can sleep on the end of our bed.
Yeah, how about that?
Hi, everyone. How are you? Happy Thursday. I hope you've... And that's on that.
I hope you had a good week.
I hope you had a good
I'll
week.
be looking forward to the weekend.
Indeed.
This is our final episode before Christmas.
Yes, goodness gracious me. What, you're seeing us on the 19th, so it's incoming. The big day.
The big C.
The big C.
The bis.
The what?
The big Chris
The
Kringle.
yeah. It's incoming. So to all of our friends who celebrate Christmas, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas. I hope, whether you spend it with family, by yourself, with friends, anything, I hope at the very
have a nice
least.
time.
Yeah, and I hope you have some time to get a little bit of rest.
Yeah.
And take care of yourself, because it's safe to say that the holiday season isn't always jolly and bright.
And it
for a
isn't
lot of
always
us.
relaxing.
No, God,
Sometimes
it is
it's like real busy and
Yeah.
you just want to do nothing, but you're just doing loads of stuff instead.
Yep, certainly.
Which is super lame, actually.
Yeah, it
Kinda
sucks. And hey, again, having to see extended family. Hey, sometimes that stinks.
Hey, sometimes you don't like them.
Sometimes there's no way around that, and that stinks. So
Sometimes they're from a generation far
Yeah.
before yours,
yeah,
and they act like it.
Yeah, they certainly do.
And then they pretend like it's your fault.
Oh, yeah. So for this Christmas, we're gaslighting.
Yeah.
I really do. I hope that this Christmas period, whatever you're up to, you are protecting your own space.
Yeah.
And I feel like I always I have to say this every Christmas. It's for people who have lost loved ones. It's a really, really hard time.
Yeah.
It's more often than not a sad time more than
Yeah.
anything. And I'm just sending you lots of love. And please take care of yourself. And hey, do something nice for yourself.
Yeah.
How about that? Just do one nice thing for yourself. And
Have
if
a bath
Yeah.
with some candles on.
A bubble
and
bath.
A bubble bath.
Bubble
and
bath.
read your Kindle or something like that.
Yep.
Have a day for yourself.
Get
and
takeaway.
You wake up, you do nothing. All day.
Yep.
You turn your phone off,
Yep.
apart from when you want to go on TikTok,
Yep.
but it's still on Do Not Disturb.
Yep.
You do nothing. You
Yep.
play games, you watch movies, you watch your favorite series, you read your favorite book.
Indeed.
You just sit and relax, and then you go to bed at night, and you're like, that's the perfect day.
Yeah, indeed. So, Merry Christmas to all of our friends who celebrate. And how are you?
Not good.
Yeah, not good.
Not good.
Not good.
Do you want it on Friday's stream last week?
Yeah. Yeah, really strange series of events that has happened.
Don't know what happened. Why were you having tooth problem? You weren't.
I wasn't, but I
weren't?
did the night of.
Yeah.
So Jack's dad.
Yeah, it was my dad.
It was your dad. Your dad has an abscess in his mouth because one of his teeth is crumbling away.
Yeah.
Right? And it's really bad. So he was telling us that. And we were just talking about it on stream, and Jack was like, I think my mouth's starting to hurt a little bit now as well.
Yeah.
And we were like, there's some weird bad tooth curse
I was like,
going on.
there's tooth juju.
Yeah, there's something going on here.
There's tooth juju. There's
Yeah.
something going on. Something bad's going on with people's teeth. Everyone in chat was like, oh man, Dana went to get a tooth canal.
Yeah. Oh my God, Dana was having
root
a
canal?
root canal. Like, I feel like there's loads of things going on. And then the night of, literally the night after stream, we're playing WoW. No, we're playing Marvel Rivals, which is even worse. I'm eating a mint humbug. If you don't know what a mint humbug is, it's like a boiled sweet with like a chewy center.
Yeah.
But they're really, really...
They're hard on the outside.
Yeah.
They're rock hard.
I've chipped a tooth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've chipped a
You've
tooth.
cracked a tooth.
I've cracked a whole piece of my tooth off in my mouth and in the middle of a Marvel Rivals game.
Yeah.
And it was very stressful.
And that night, I was absolutely fine. Next day, I don't really get any tooth pain. Never
No,
really
you
have got
don't.
any tooth
No.
pain. First time ever, really, in my life. I think I've got wisdom tooth pain.
Yeah, I think you do.
It's coming through on this side.
Yeah.
It's violently painful.
Yes, it is.
It's when I eat anything on this side,
Yeah.
I'm painkillered up. I'm gonna just be eating soup because I tried to eat my cereal this morning. Dreadful mistake. I was in pain. So, yeah. So if I sound a little strange, it's because I can't really close my mouth.
No, you don't. You don't sound strange. No, you don't.
There's sometimes where I think I can't pronounce my S's correctly.
Yeah, you've never had really wisdom tooth pain before, have
No.
you? And hey, anyone who has experienced wisdom tooth pain, you know it is one of the worst pains ever.
Yep.
Like a few months ago, I had it really bad for about 2 weeks, and I remember I couldn't talk properly.
So yeah, as soon as my holiday break starts, violent mouth pain.
Yeah, and I need to go to a dentist. And hey, in the UK, no dentists are accepting new patients whatsoever.
Nope.
Turns out my tooth completely rotten. Who knew? Not me. Probably because I don't go to the dentist. So we're going to have to shoehorn in both of us. Well, me definitely going to a dentist.
The thing is, when it comes to wisdom teeth,
there's not much.
It's like a broken rib.
Yeah.
It's like, it's massively painful, but there's not actually anything that we can do.
Unless it truly is, it's coming through and it's gotten like a little bit of skin. If it gets really bad, they can take the skin out.
Yeah. I can't feel it coming through.
Yeah.
I can't. I feel like there's just
irritation
under flesh movement.
Yeah.
And it's hurting.
Bad. Wisdom teeth suck.
Yeah.
Oh my god, wisdom teeth suck so bad.
So like it's the tooth in front of it that it's obviously pushing up against.
Yeah.
That is really hurting.
Yeah.
So like any pressure on that tooth at all, pain.
Not good.
Yeah.
What's going on? Why are we also afflicted with terrible teeth? And you know what? I know it's playing into the trope of Brits have bad teeth, but truly, what's going on?
What's going on?
Your dad, me, you? Who else? Hey, do you have bad tooth pain? What's going on?
Maybe it's like the dentists are running low on business or something.
Oh, I see. So the plant it right.
I know that's not the truth because none of them
are accepting new patients. No.
But like, maybe like they're planting dental pain. Something like that.
How would they do that?
I don't know. They have ways.
I see.
Those dentists.
And what about the mint humbug? They capitalize on my greed.
Yeah, I mean they double boiled it so it was twice as hard.
I see.
Oh, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Have you ever had dreams where your teeth come out?
Yeah.
And it's horrible? That's exactly what it actually felt like. One of those dreams when my teeth fell out. I really can't stress enough. It was disgusting. I'd show you the picture. It's horrible. I'm not going to do that because it's horrible. So.
How are you?
I'm fine. I'm still sick. I've been coughing now for 16 days. Maybe 17, actually, at the time of recording.
No. It was 13 It was 13 yesterday, so it's 14 today.
No, it wasn't. It's been over 2 weeks now. I've been keeping track.
Yeah, I know, I've been keeping track. That's what I mean.
No, it's been over 2 weeks. So I should really go to the doctor. So it's like, let's shoehorn in going to the dentist and the doctor before Christmas.
The thing is, the other day, it's like you didn't cough at all.
Yeah, I know.
It was so weird.
And today, I'm all right too, but yesterday it was horrible.
Yesterday it was dreadful.
I don't know what's going on. And to be fair, the UK has just announced like a critical warning for flu.
Great.
Apparently November was like one of the highest recorded amounts of people hospitalized for the flu.
Great.
So it's really bad. So if you're in the UK, do take care of yourself. If you're going out and about, consider wearing a mask. Take care of yourself because I reckon after Christmas everyone's gonna get so sick from seeing each other, which is really, really fun. I hate being sick.
I
hate it. Everyone's sick though, to be fair.
I hate being sick and I hate having mouth pain.
Yeah.
There we go. Two things.
Yeah.
Two things I now hate.
God, how old do we sound, by the way?
We are old.
Yeah, we are.
We're 31.
Is this what it's like when you get old?
Yeah.
Like everyone's constantly just sick and in pain.
Sick and in pain.
Is this really what it's like?
Yep.
Our parents weren't lying.
Welcome to the
so,
club.
All of that being said, hey, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're good.
Yeah.
Tell me. Yeah. Weird.
Tell me how much pain you're in. Made me feel better about my pain.
Yeah. See, I was saying this to Jack. Jack doesn't have any chronic pain, and you're never in pain in general.
Really, in the last years, the only thing that's really hurt was my neck.
Yeah.
And it's just as my neck's getting better, because my
Yeah.
neck was bad and then it got better and then it got bad again.
Mhm.
But I think I know why it got bad again, because it was the way I was sleeping. And I think I've cracked it now, because in the last few days, I've had like literally no neck pain. It's feeling loose. It's feeling good. Tooth pain.
Yeah, yeah. To all of our friends who suffer with chronic pain, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
We get sick for like a week, and we're like, oh, I'm so sorry that this is. It must be so frustrating for you to hear us fucking whinging. Let's go.
On the nose?
Yeah.
On the nose? Yeah.
Whinging on about being sick, but
I was like, how long did your wisdom tooth pain
2
last,
weeks.
Margaret? And she was like, 2 weeks. I was like,
great.
Great.
See, I'm more accustomed to being in general pain than you, though.
Mhm.
So I'm kind of I can definitely put up with it better than you can. But now that you're actually in pain, I feel like it's just a shock to your system because you're never in pain.
Not really. And like the thing
Wisdom
is,
tooth's the worst type of pain.
yeah. And that's the thing is with me, it's like when I'm in pain, I'm like, but then as soon as like the painkillers kick in, I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm not in pain anymore. This is great.
Anyway, all of that to say, hope you're doing well.
Hope you're
Sorry,
feeling
this
well.
was 11 minutes of us
Talking
whinging.
about pain.
How about that?
Welcome to the Eldritch Whinge Blast.
Yeah.
Welcome in. Leave your whinges down below in the comments.
Anything else? Is there anything we need to let them know before we sign off for
podcast next week.
Christmas? Yes, no podcast next week. Next Monday, next Thursday.
Yeah.
Hold on, I can work this out. 23rd and
And
26th of
26th.
December. There is no podcasts. There is going to be streams though. I think we're going to stream as normal.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I actually think we're going to stream on Christmas Eve. I think we're going to watch Castlevania. Should be fun.
Castlevania on the stream,
Yeah.
watch party.
Yep.
It's going to be sick.
Yeah, I think that's going to be good fun.
Margaret's going to pause it all the time and yap. 'cause that's what she's
I
like.
am. I'm really sorry. Yes, I am.
But that's the point of it, isn't it? We need to make the content transformative.
Yes. And then through Christmas, I think we're gonna. Oh no, we're not. We're gonna start the Baldur's Gate on Fridays. Yeah. We're gonna play some Baldur's Gate on Fridays. I think.
Yeah, because we're doing character creation tonight as of recording, so Sunday,
Yeah.
and then we're playing next week.
Yeah. I think at least. I don't know. You know when.
If it was
You know
up to me,
that
we'd be playing tonight.
You know this weird time between like when everything's starting to wind down and then you're gonna have the weird gap in between Christmas and New Year. Making any form of plan is so hard. It's my brain go bye bye.
Bye.
See you later.
Yeah,
bye bye.
As soon as I'm off for Christmas, I just can't be able to do anything. I want that like nothing time. And I literally after this podcast I'm getting it.
Yeah.
Wild.
True.
Wild.
Anything else?
No, apart from www.eldritchpodblast.co.uk. Go and pick up some merch. Check out our Patreon down below. Thanks so much to all the new patrons. It's so good to have you.
Oh my gosh. At the time you're seeing this, on Saturday, we are having Matthew on our Patreon stream for Moon Druid and Entity Tears.
Yeah, this Saturday.
Our friend Matthew's going to come on and have a chat about D&D with us.
Yeah.
So please join us for that if you're interested. We'd love to have you.
Yeah. So yeah, check out the Patreon down below in the description. Great way to support us. Thank you so much for all the support that you always show us. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. All of that goes a million miles to help the video. And thank you so much. I love you.
Thank you so much to all our patrons over at Patreon.
You have no idea how much we appreciate your support.
If you want to support us over at Patreon and gain access to our exclusive content,
like our D&D campaign updates and our extra monthly live streams.
Click the link in the description. More about Patreon at the end of this video. Thank you.
All right, today we're doing some advice, aren't we?
Yeah.
Doing some D&D advice.
Yeah.
These are all submissions. If you have any D&D advice you would like to ask, please send it into the form below. We also do D&D advice all the time on stream. It's the main thing we do on stream. So please join us over on Twitch as well. We do all sorts of advice. And let's just get into it.
Yeah.
Big yawn. So this has been sent in by BB and they use they, them pronouns.
Thank you, BB.
Hi there, I'm having some issues with another player at our table and I'm not sure how to go about talking to them or my DM about a solution without upsetting anyone.
Okay.
I love our party, but I'm scared that one more disagreement could end up dissolving the game altogether.
Okay.
We're a very small party, only 3 players, so anytime we have conflict, it can be very stressful. One of our players has a character who has been through a big revelation, but they seem to be dead set on this character entering their villain era. I love drama, but with only 3 characters, there's not much else to diffuse the stress of having one character making increasingly dangerous choices and putting everyone at risk. We tried to talk him down in character and talk out of character about the risk of cause and effect, but it upsets the player because you can't blame him with what he's been through. And they even claimed that we were limiting their fun because we're concerned for the outcome of our game. The player is one of my best friends and we have had fun for years. But right now, I'm struggling to even want to show up for sessions because I'm worried things will go off the walls again. Am I being a stick in the mud or taking the game too seriously? Is there any way I can try to talk to them that lets everyone have fun?
So we've had something like this, but it went completely a different way. Last campaign, not the one just finished, the one before in our Norse-based campaign. Something really bad happened to Abby's character, TRP, and she entered her new phase, but she didn't. It wasn't her villain era. It was
a sad girl era.
It was a sad girl era.
Yeah.
It was her emo era.
Yeah.
And for a little while, like, she was a little bit quieter and she was sadder and she did roleplay it like that. So I don't know if you can maybe talk to the player about, like, hey, I understand that you've been through a lot and one of the worst things that could potentially happen to you has happened to you. Maybe, I don't know what has happened to you. But instead of being in a villain era where you're causing quite a lot of problems and being quite disruptive and it's quite hard for us to deal with as players and as people, maybe we could twist it and be maybe in a sad girl era or a emo era or, like, you know, you're slightly quieter. You are like maybe taking more risks and stuff like that. But like the problem is when people do this, it's the whole murder hobo thing. In my opinion, it's just like, you do rash things, like kill people or something like that, and then you aren't the only person who deals with the fallout. Regularly, you aren't the person who deals with the fallout because you might just get arrested, and then everybody else has to deal with it. So I think just talking to them about, like, I get your era, I get why you're in it, but can we slightly change it so it's less disruptive? I want characters to go into eras.
Totally.
I want characters to, like, feel things and stuff like that, but when you go into a, like, self-destruct mode, it's impossible to deal with.
And you know what, I was gonna say I wish we had some examples of the things they were doing, but I actually don't think it really matters. I also think, BB, something that might really give you some peace of mind is talking to your DM. You have no idea what this player and the DM have, you know, you say that there was like a big revelation, like there might be something that the DM and the player have coordinated together and are kind of trying to bring into fruition. And this is all part of kind of the next steps, if that makes sense. But I completely, with a party of 3 people, we've played in a party of 3 people. If that was the case for us, it would be so hard to navigate that, I think.
Well, I remember when we had one player in that group. This is a different group. Wasn't with, like, Abby and stuff like that. When me and you were players.
Oh, yes. Sorry,
And one of our players went into that, like, there was a big decision that they were, like, trying to just make on their own.
And it was really hard to.
It was like world ending,
and it was very much. We actually had to stop the game and be like out of character. Be like, hey, what is going on?
What are you doing? Like,
turns out they were just having a bad day.
They had a bad day.
They were just having a bad day.
So you don't know as well. They might be. Go on, sorry.
Yeah, no. I think talk to your DM, and if nothing else, talk to them and just say, hey, look, I'm really struggling to have fun right now because I'm so worried about what this character is doing. I'm so worried about the danger we're being put in. I'm worried about the cause and effect. I'm just wondering if you as the DM, can you just promise me that you're not going to let it ruin everything for us? Like,
that safety net might just, like, take the edge off for you.
Yeah, because, you know, for us, that's what I would do. The thing is, I trust you implicitly as the DM to never let anyone run away with a story to the point where it could be detrimental to our party.
The whole game,
And, you know, I think it's important to understand what is detrimental to you. To me, detriment would be a TPK or my character dying. Or someone's character dying or an NPC getting harmed, you know? It's up to you what's important, but I absolutely trust Jack that he would never let it snowball from simply one person's decisions because they're in an arc to let that happen unless you had already discussed something with them, you know? And I think that's a really important thing here, BB. Do you have trust in your DM that they won't let it
snowball out of control,
ruin this, basically? And you're very valid, by the way, in being and feeling like this.
100%.
You know, the whole like, am I a stick in the mud? No, of course not. No, of course not.
Like,
It's your character. You care.
Yeah, I get like when it's like villainous and stuff like that. It can get quite tiring in my opinion.
It can.
So yeah, I think that's great actually. Like maybe if you try talking to the player and they're like, "You're limiting my fun."
Yeah, which you know also is frustrating for the player too. Because I get it. When you have a certain idea of where you want to take your character and people are telling you no, it is frustrating.
Depends what it is though.
That's it. It does depend what it is.
If it's like killing people and like, you know, blowing up hospitals and stuff like that because you're in your villainy, right?
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
That's just fucking not fair.
I agree.
But you know, if they're just making maybe like slightly worse decisions,
maybe just put like being a bit more risky,
then
being,
I wouldn't
like,
mind
reckless.
so much. But again, you know, like I think, like Margaret said, I think it's a great idea. Instead of talking to the player, which you've tried to do, talk to your dungeon master and be like, "Hey, I understand that they're in their era and it's not going to last forever.
Yeah.
But can you just promise me, because it'll take the edge off of me. I'll be able to relax and enjoy their era with them.
Yeah.
If I know that you won't let it get out of control,
absolutely,
and ruin the game and TPK us or kill my character, or you know, just like destroy the game in a way.
Yeah, I completely agree. And you know, it sounds here, player isn't having fun because they think you're limiting their fun. You're not having fun to the point where you don't even really want to show up anymore because you're so worried. You are all not on the same page, and it's really important that you do get on the same page.
Yeah.
Because things like this, where you start dreading a session, we play D&D to have fun, right? You never want to be dreading the thing that you're doing that you love because you want to have fun. And it will get worse. Like, it will get worse if this isn't sorted out.
Yeah.
So, BB, go to your DM.
Dungeon Master.
Tell your DM genuinely.
How you feeling?
You've worded it perfectly here, right? You've said, I love our party, but I'm scared. I'm not wanting to turn up. They're my best friend. What do I do? Tell that to your DM and communicate that. And I'm sure there is a way forward of your DM, hopefully, having a word with this player. Because it shouldn't be a different dynamic, but it is. When the DM comes to you and says, hey, look, this is what's going on compared to a player, you know, I think the DM has more tools in their belt to push a story a certain way.
Yeah, and you know, like, you have the whole, like, what are your intentions with this?
Yeah, absolutely.
If it starts to get too ridiculous, like, what are your intentions with this? Because,
exactly.
You know, you're putting everybody else in a dangerous position now, and, like, I get the whole villain era, but it has to stop at some point, and it has to have a point where it can't ruin everybody else's time.
Yeah.
I think that's a good shout, Margaret.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you.
That's a good shout.
Oh, thank you very much. Oh, yeah. Talk to your DM, BB.
Talk to your Dungeon Master.
Hopefully they will talk to this player.
And that'll put your mind at ease, knowing that no matter how bad it gets, they'll never let it ruin the game.
Yeah, totally. And if it's going that way, ask them if they could please just step in, put a stop on, take a second, because, again, these things happen, and I think so many people. I have no idea how long you've been playing for. You say years, you know. I get it. Sometimes you want your character to go through an arc like that.
Yeah,
but it's so hard to do, especially in a small party.
Yeah, and it's like there's a difference between villain and sad.
Yeah, totally.
I think
there's also a difference between villain and reckless. I think.
I agree. Maybe they're phrasing it wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe that's maybe putting tensions even higher.
Yeah, or maybe they've planned something with the DM, and you just don't know.
Just don't know.
So you're very valid in feeling like that. Yeah. No, you're not being a stick in the mud. You're not taking it too seriously. I hate it when there's this stipulation of God, why are you taking it so seriously? Why do you care so much? Yeah, no.
Why do you think I care? Do this every week.
Yeah,
I've done this every week for years. What do you mean? Why do I care so much?
Yeah, I think it's important for you all to get on the same page.
I agree.
And yeah, I hope that helps, BB. Keep us updated. Thanks, BB.
Updated.
All right, this next one has been sent in by Anonymous, and she uses she/her pronouns.
Thank you very much, Anonymous.
Hello, this is a little bit of Would I Be the Arsehole as well as Seeking Advice post. I'm in a campaign with some good friends of mine, including a friend that I will call Jane. I like Jane. I've known her for years, and I enjoy playing D&D with her. We recently started a new campaign that's likely going to run until the end of the school year, and the character she's playing deeply irks me. We're playing playing a political intrigue campaign where we play essentially as detectives or guards and potential assassins. Jane is playing a bit character, and the bits are getting old. I wasn't particularly charmed by bits in the first place anyway. Me and you both. Bit 1 is a speech bit. The character cannot speak normally, and it's hard to get a coherent sentence out of her. The character can't say things like, I agree, or can I view the tape? This is for every single sentence. She also reuses the same phrases over and over and over again. So instead of saying yes, she will say, you hit the nail on the head every single time. This makes it hard to interpret what she's trying to say, and also really annoying because this campaign has gone on for nearly 2 months now. Bit 2 is that her character grabs things that other players are also holding. So for example, if I find a clue and pick it up, Jane is also immediately grabbing the clue before I can get 2 words out. Jane will also act before the DM is even finished explaining what we have just found. So Jane will not only interrupt players, but the DM as well. This is particularly irritating because, in my opinion, it's bad player etiquette to steal things that another player has already grabbed in the loop. And because this is a political intrigue campaign, there is some critical information to the plot or the world contained in whatever messages these clues hold.
Okay.
Mixed with the fact that her player cannot communicate clearly. This is extremely frustrating because it takes a long time for the group to figure out what the clue even says. This is tricky for me. The group that I'm playing this campaign with has played together for years. We're also a friendship group out of D&D and have friendships individually. I feel like it is probably inappropriate to bring it up directly to Jane. If I were to bring it up, I would go to the DM. However, to my knowledge, no one has ever had an issue and has brought it to the DM. I'm not close enough with the DM to make sure that if I talk to them about this, it will be confidential. If I bring it up, I want to be able to bring it up in a way that is constructive and does not hurt Jane or the players. I'm glad that she's getting into character, but I hate this character. Should I bring it up?
I wish I knew what this speech thing was.
Yeah, I think it's just like saying phrases. Like, so they can't say, I agree, or can I view the tape? I think those are phrases that they can't say, so they have to go like separate ways around saying it. I do agree. I wish there was, I mean, regardless, I very much understand when you're looking at a clue, Jane is snatching the clue, and then not being able to communicate properly what is going on.
Yeah, but if the only things that they can't say are those like couple of things, then surely they can communicate effectively. They just can't when they need to say those 2 things.
I have no idea.
And you know, like, hey, all characters have a catchphrase.
Oh yeah,
so, like,
yeah.
You hit the nail on the head.
That's, you know, yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Like I play. The thing is, usually things like this come up in one shots and short campaigns.
Totally.
Because you do play characters with stupid little things. I always do.
Yeah.
My last character, the Stars Druid, always said "wow."
Yeah.
And my character now says, what does he say? He says "now" all the time.
Yeah.
Well, now.
Yeah.
He always, that's just what he does. And it's just like, I always do that for like characters because it's easy then to get into character, I think. So my honest opinion here is, the snatching thing's annoying.
Yeah, the snatching thing's
annoying.
Yeah.
I hate when that happens. Like somebody's got it and you like try and snatch it off them, or one player's like, I'm gonna go and pick it up, and the other player goes, can I pick it up first? Like that drives me insane.
Yeah, that is annoying.
That drives me insane. It's just like they found it, they rolled the investigation check or the perception check to find it, and you're just like piggybacking off the fact that they found it.
I don't understand if they're like, can I help them?
Yeah,
but when it's like, can I get it first?
Can I snatch it?
It's annoying.
Ooh, that drives me insane.
Yeah.
I think the thing is here, the character just annoys you.
Yeah.
And when the character annoys you, or honestly, when a person annoys you, I'm not saying that this person annoys you, but for me, when somebody starts to annoy me, it just snowballs.
Yes, it does.
And then everything that they do just annoys the living shit out of you. And that is, it's hard to deal with. It's hard to pull yourself back from, because even if the character has a session where they're not really annoying, you'll probably think, man, they were so fucking annoying.
You'll find that one thing that was annoying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, what do you think? Because my honest opinion is, if you're great friends, I think you should be able to just talk.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Yeah. I completely agree. I think, the fact that you are friends, I think lends even more credence to the fact that you should be able to talk to Jane, right? it's a hard one with what you've said about here. Like, I'm not close enough for the DM. They might not keep it confidential. Like, so it sounds like
I think your problem isn't with the Dungeon Master.
Yeah.
Or anything to do with the Dungeon Master. It's like, the thing is, if you talk to the Dungeon Master in the situation, what gets done?
Yeah.
Nothing. Because the Dungeon Master goes to the player and is like, hey, by the way, your behavior is riling somebody up. It's like, that would make me feel even worse.
Yeah. And, Anonymous has said they've been playing together for years. So I don't necessarily know if Anonymous has come in, like, after the fact, which I understand when you do join an established group. It is scary to say something. What I'm hearing is there's maybe a trust issue between you and the rest of the group, maybe a slight divide between you and the rest of the group. You saying, no one else has had an issue. It's just me who's had an issue. I'm not close enough to the DM, so I don't know if it will be confidential. And I'm assuming when you say confidential, you mean like
between you and the Dungeon Master and nobody else.
Well, not even that, because, it's going to have to go back to the player. But I think confidential as in out of game, there isn't going to be, Anonymous said this about you, by the way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I think there's kind of some fundamental things going on there that make this situation even more stressful than it needs to be. But that's something that can't really be helped, right? I think Anonymous, regardless of the friendships, regardless of you're not sure if it's confidential, regardless if you're not sure if you can trust them, I think for your sake, it's so much better to just communicate how you're feeling. They are friends. The fact that you're all friends, your friends should want to hear you out. It's like Jack said, like, surely they would want to know that this is bothering you even more.
Yeah, and I think the problem with something like this is when it, like I said before, it's like when it starts, the longer you leave it,
it just gets worse. Yeah, totally.
You just end up hating that character even more and more and more and more and more. So I think that you should just go straight to Jane and just honestly say the things about the character. Like, they don't communicate effectively, and that, sometimes gets in the way of the group and stuff like that. And I don't like it when do you know what I mean? If they snatch from other players and the other players don't care, fine.
Yeah.
But like, I think it's make it about you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Like, I don't like it when your player like snatches from me, and I don't just want to bring it up in this role play thing. Like, I want to actually iron out with you as a person.
Yeah, totally.
Like, when you snatch from my character, it does annoy me.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, totally. And you know what? Would it make you feel better to have the DM there as a buffer?
Yeah.
Like, would it bring you some like more, I don't know. Would it make you feel better having the conversation with Jane, but also having the DM privy so it's clear exactly how the conversation has gone?
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like, I think if you go in and you honestly say to your DM or Jane or both and go, hey, look, I really need to talk to you because this is really affecting me, and I feel really unsure about this because we're really good friends and I love playing D&D with you. But it's getting to the point where I'm having a really bad time, and I wonder if you two would hear me out.
Yeah.
And simply just explain kind of how you explained it here. Yeah. Like, Jane, like, I know your character has like the speech bit, but when couple that with the fact that you always try to investigate everything first, it takes ages to get through. And I really struggle to comprehend what your character's saying. So that leaves me feeling really frustrated.
Yeah.
And, I understand if everyone else is okay with you snatching, if this is something that you've always done, but if I'm asking for an investigation check, could you please let me lead? Yeah. And you know what?
And if I find something,
if you want to help, you can help, but please let me lead. I think if you go in being really honest like that and kind of wearing out on your sleeve a little bit, their reaction will probably tell you everything you need to know.
And I think you also preface it with, I want to say this because I like playing.
Yeah, and I want to keep playing with you because I like you and you're my friends.
And obviously you're my friends, and I want to safeguard that before anything else.
Yeah, and I'm saying this because I'm feeling a certain way now, and I do not want it to get worse.
And I do not like it. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can just say, like, anytime you have a conversation with someone like this, every time I have to have a conversation like this, I'm like, it's not easy for me to say this, but I need to for all of our sakes and for the sake of our friendship. And every time I've ever opened a conversation up like that, people are immediately receptive to hearing me. And the people who haven't been receptive to hearing me are not friends anymore because
Why?
They don't want to
hear me. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's very few and far between.
Yeah, friends hear each other out.
Yeah, that's happened maybe once.
Once ever.
Once in my adult life. Do you know what I mean? And I think have that conversation. Their reaction will tell you everything. I'm absolutely certain they are friends. Jane's going to go, I'm sorry. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a funny bit and
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And then you will work together. But if for whatever reason they push back, they, you know, what you've said kind of at the end here, being like, I'm not sure if this is going to hurt them or upset them. If they push back in a different way and you realize you're not going to get on the same page, I think it's worth looking back, Anonymous, at this game and seeing if it's the right game for you.
But also, I would like to just prepare you for an emotional reaction.
Yeah, potentially,
because when you know, if somebody enjoys something or
Mhm.
somebody views something differently to you, it's very common for their gut instinct reaction
to get the back up,
to get the back up, to be negative, to, you know, like to not see it.
Mm-hmm.
So don't be surprised and don't like instantly quit the game or anything if that's the case, because
Mhm.
that is quite likely going to be the case.
Yeah, I think emotional reactions are very normal. It's how
Very,
you
very
then
normal.
it's how you move on from
It's
the
how you
emotional
navigate
reaction.
from the emotional reaction.
Yeah,
because
totally.
that is usually like gut instinct, and then when the people begin to explain, then it usually calms down.
Yeah, totally. And trust me, I have a fucking horrible temper. And sometimes when I try to go into conversation with people, I actually can come on a little hot.
Yeah.
And then I immediately am like, I'm really sorry that I came in so hot there.
Mm.
And you work it out from there because you care about each other, you know? But I think if you're just honest and tell them really how you're feeling, they'll hear you out.
Yeah.
Right? Regardless of anything else, they'll hear you out because they're your pals. You know?
Yes.
I hope that helps,
I hope that
Anonymous. I really do. You're valid for being frustrated because I would
Yeah.
be frustrated too.
Oh, little pud.
Oh, look at this man. Look at that
No,
chicken.
leave him.
Look at his chicken leg. Oh,
He's just a
Wow.
sleepy old man.
he is. Oh, he's so. Anyway, this next one, is this the second to last? No, it's not. This has been sent in by Stuart, and he uses he/him pronouns.
Thank you very much, Stuart.
I was wondering if you could give me any advice on how to talk to or approach players that seem disinterested or reluctant to play the game.
Mhm.
The group has been playing for just over a year and a half now, and we've had 8 sessions. In our group, there's a couple who I will call Dan and Amy. Dan and Amy were invited to the group as Amy wanted to try D&D, and she had played other tabletop games in the past. Dan wasn't sure if it would be his type of thing, but was open to trying, especially as Amy was playing too. Dan plays a rogue and Amy plays a monk. Everything started out fine in the first session or two, but I quickly noticed a pattern establishing.
Mhm.
Amy would bring her laptop to type notes like she was taking minutes in a meeting. Everything was recorded, and I mean everything, like even in-depth play-by-play plays of combat. Because of this, she wasn't actually even playing. Her character was just there. We spoke to her and advised that the notes don't actually have to be that in-depth, and although she started taking less notes, the other side of things didn't really change. She doesn't really do anything, beside the odd interaction once every blue moon, and in combat she doesn't use her class. She either just hides or uses darts. I tried to give her advice on how to use a monk in combat, but over a year in, she has no idea what her character can do, or combat-wise, she is better off actually being in the mix. The most recent session she was playing a mobile game for a good half hour while we were trying to move the story forward. Dan is similar. He doesn't do anything while we play, but every so often, he'll do something shifty. His character never speaks, and again, he has no idea of his abilities or what he can do. He is also the one character without a backstory because he couldn't be bothered. I'd say Dan and Amy are like one player between them, as one only speaks and the character only
Hey, let's go.
and the other only does actions. But honestly, they don't even do enough for me to class them as that. We've had whole sessions where neither of them have had any input whatsoever. I've spoken to my DM and our other player, who I will call Alan, and we all find it frustrating, especially as we all have to work our sessions around Amy's rota, sometimes leaving a month and a half to 2 months between them. Even when trying to organize a session, I have to chase Dan and Amy up when asking if people are available on certain dates. Myself and the DM have spoken about how we're losing our love for D&D because of this. And for myself, I find having to drag the story along with Alan, and quite often I have to be involved my barbarian in situations he would likely take a back seat in, and this also results in myself and Alan only really having each other to bounce off of. And if we decide to take a back seat, my DM feels awkward because he is met with silence and everything comes to a standstill. I get the impression that Dan and Amy play because it's something to do rather than the fact that they actually want to play D&D. Their complete lack of effort is ruining the experience for the rest of us. How would you recommend I broach the subject with them? Thank you.
Okay. So I had an opinion, but as it went on, I think that opinion's not as relevant. But I was gonna say, like, you should just tell Amy that if she enjoys just taking notes and being a bystander, and you're all okay with that, some people just like to watch. Some people just like to vibe and watch and just be there for the drama, and they don't actually super love playing.
Yeah.
They just love watching. So why do you think Critical Role and things like that?
Yeah, just like being involved. Yeah.
People just like to watch D&D play out and want the social interaction of being somewhere every week with their friends and stuff like that. We've had this before where people have been like, I don't know if they're enjoying themselves. Like, they just sit and watch everything happen, and then they only get involved in combat. And then we've gone, well, have you asked them? And then they're like, oh no. They go and ask them, and they're like, I love it. I just love being a bystander and stuff like that. But as the submission went on, I feel like that became less relevant.
Yeah, well, I don't know, because the thing is, Stuart ends it with, I feel like they only play because it's something to do rather than nothing. And God, for how long have you been playing? You say for a year, for 8 sessions. I can't imagine anything worse for all of you. To be Dan and Amy and to just be dragging myself along for the sake of doing something, and then you guys knowing that they're only there because of it and having to try and navigate around that, it is a really frustrating situation for everyone.
We've also had this where, and we talk about this on stream quite a lot. A lot of the time, people will do things until they get an out, until they get hey, by the way, it's okay if you don't want to play.
Yeah. It's not going to offend us.
We're not
to be honest, I'm starting to think it might be a better idea if maybe you did stop playing.
Some people cannot bring themselves to be the one to initiate that separation.
Yeah.
So maybe they need that. Maybe they need you to be like, hey, just so you know, it is totally okay if D&D wasn't what you were expecting. You aren't that interested.
Yeah.
You can leave if you want to. We aren't going to take it to heart. We can still be friends.
Yeah.
Some people just need that to be said to them.
Totally. And you know what? That conversation can go one of two ways. That conversation can go, oh, yeah, you know what?
You're right.
You're right. Thank you for saying that. I was worried about saying something. Yeah, I'm not vibing with it. Yeah, I'll leave. Thanks for the good time. Or they'll go, no, I like playing. No, totally. I'll stay. No, God, no problem. And if it's the latter, the latter answer, the conversation should then move into, okay, yeah, great. I'm cool that you still want to start playing. However, if you want to continue playing, something has to change.
Yeah.
We can't keep going on like this. The whole reason I asked you this is because I'm really getting the feeling you're not interested, and then you give them all these examples.
All these examples that you've been talking about.
And say, so once again, after all of that, I really can't stress this enough. If you want to leave, and right now, it probably would be better for you to leave because it's frustrating for the DM. It's frustrating for us. We're having a really hard time navigating this. So if you are going to stay, it has to change starting immediately.
Yes.
And then, you can work together how to change.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think there's something that needs to be said about what happens if one player can't make it. Because if you've been playing for over a year and you've only played 8 sessions,
yeah,
a lot of people play weekly.
Yeah.
A lot of people play every other week.
Yeah, I think monthly is quite normal as well.
Even then, that would be 12 sessions.
Yeah.
And you've played 8.
Yeah.
That means if you played monthly, you've missed 4 sessions.
Yeah.
And out of a possible 12 to miss 4 is a quarter?
Yeah.
Which is so many.
Totally. And I think very often, and to be fair, I understand. Amy's rota, Amy works. Being an adult's hard.
It's hard.
It's finding time is so hard, and I totally get it. But it's when it gets to the point of when the conversation hasn't been had about what do we do when one person can't make it, 2, 3, 4, etc. Games end up literally being held hostage.
Hostage by one player.
And it's so fucking frustrating.
And sometimes it's unintentionally held hostage by one player.
Oh God, absolutely.
But the thing is, if you already record all the sessions and stuff like that, then you just say to Amy, hey, like, if you can't make it when we want to play, that's totally fine. I will record the whole session for you, the audio. If you want to come and be clued in, I'll send you the audio. If you don't have time to listen to it, you can just come. We'll just give you a little catch up. But I think you need to ask them if they want to stay.
Absolutely.
And that might give them the out that they want.
Absolutely.
Then you can maybe look for some new players who are interested and stuff like that. One-shot people before, play one-shots with people before you invite them to the full game, for sure, because then, things like this will come out in the wash if we're the same play style and stuff like that. They might want to stay. If they want to stay, run them through the things that need to change.
Yeah, totally.
And we also need to figure out what happens if Amy can't make it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's it. It's like the last thing that you want is to lose interest in D&D. Because D&D is such a brilliant thing that we all love so much. But it does kill it. It becoming a burden kills it for you.
It really does. When it becomes something that you dread, right? Yeah. And it's any group activity where you have to rely on people turning up. It is hard. It definitely is. Yeah. That's why scheduling always is the BBG, and I get it. But have a group conversation. Yeah. Have the DM lead the group conversation. Next time you all get together, maybe get on a call. You could message, but there's a chance you might not hear back if it's a message.
Yeah.
I would try do this face to face. Do you play face to face?
I don't know if you play face to face.
Yeah.
But if you do, I think it's better face to face because you can actually judge what the reactions are.
Yeah, totally. I would get it either face to face on a call and have the DM say, "Hey guys, I need to talk to all of you. Let's organize a time. It's really important that we do. I would appreciate if we could." And then DM leads saying, "Hey, look. I'm really struggling as a DM because Dan and Amy, there's all of these things and it's getting really hard for me. And I just want you to know as your friend and as your DM, if you're not enjoying it, that's completely fine. You can totally, absolutely leave. Yep. But I just need to know because it's getting really difficult to manage. And you'll find out either way from there, And it's one of these things where you don't ever want to dogpile on people. But I also think giving people a chance to actually speak for themselves publicly is important as well.
Yeah, I agree.
What do you think?
Yeah, totally agree. I wish you the best of luck.
Yeah,
this is a very frustrating situation.
Yeah.
With I think a number of things that have just accumulated over time that is going to feel quite scary to deal with. But honestly, this can be sorted in one conversation.
Yeah, totally. And this is once again the type of thing where if you don't have this conversation, you say you're already losing the love for D&D. It will get worse.
Yeah.
Every single time Dan and Amy ignore you, they don't organize a session, Amy has to cancel, they turn up, they don't say anything. It's like a tally. It will all add up and it will get to a point once again where it just spirals into potentially like a really heated argument. Yeah. Like it's totally best to iron things out now. As awkward as the conversation could potentially be at the time, it will save you so much pain in the long run. I promise.
I completely agree.
So good luck, Stuart. Please keep us updated. All right, this is the penultimate.
The penultimate.
This has been sent in by BoxerBriefs, and she uses she/her pronouns.
BoxerBriefs?
Yes.
BoxerBriefs, thank you so much.
We recently started a new D&D campaign, all of us are strangers on the internet, that found our way to each other through interviews. I and another player have played with the DM before, so he asked us to sit on the interview call to help out with the process, see if the other potential members would vibe with us, and this was communicated with the interviewees beforehand.
I hope you didn't call them interviews.
We did let them know that we would be recording the sessions, voice only, even though during the game we do use cameras, and we made sure we had consent to do so. Later, we started about potentially adding clips here and there on social media, and this will come into play later. Between the three of us, we formed a list of expectations and questions, things like no main character, be present at the table, these topics are not allowed, etc. Yeah. And from there, we found our new people, invited them to the Discord, and started the game about a month later.
Awesome.
Session 1 went great. Then Session 2 hit. After we started to notice one of the players acting a little bit differently, despite their amazing involvement in the first session, we noticed they were less involved in session 2, being on their phone and talking to their partner while on mute instead of paying attention to the game. They also were, this time around, just in their boxer briefs with their legs curled up in the chair where everything was on display.
Oh, that's not good.
On top of it, they would pull their partner to them and begin to kiss them passionately or show other forms of PDA during the session while on camera.
What the fuck?
The only time they focused on the game was if and when their character was the focus. Otherwise, they would ignore everything else going on at the table unless they could interact to bring the attention off the topic at hand and directly back onto their character without any real reason to do so. This was screaming main character energy. They were absent in the Discord discussions as well, oftentimes only piping in when their character's name was brought up. They did not access nor help out with the group notes document, and they only reacted and commented on art pieces that were done with their character in it. They showed little to no interest in anyone else's backstories or current issues. With that in mind, it was decided it was best to ask them to step down from the table, and they were removed. Yeah, 100%.
100%.
They immediately messaged the DM to let them know we couldn't use his voice on their recordings for social media purposes after they have already consented to have it recorded and used that way, and they demanded an explanation. After the explanation was given, they unfriended and blocked the DM, then began to attempt to friend every other member in the group so they could message us, and no one thankfully took the bait. However, we would still like to post the voice clips and moments of our sessions, not for monetary gain, just to share the fun we're having. The group is a bit split on this. Since the permission was originally given and then taken back to only what I can assume is to be spiteful, some are suggesting we just clip from the next session onwards. However, a lot of the character moments that were had would help others understand the characters, and it will be lost since he had interjections throughout these moments and it would be near impossible to edit him out. So others are suggesting, since we already had the permission and he was aware of the recordings and we would not be making money off of this, we could use these short clips despite it. What do you think?
Okay, so this is just my opinion. And obviously you've come here for that, so I will give you it. Do not use those clips.
Do not use the clips.
Do
not use the clips.
This person sounds like a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
And when you do things like this, which, by the way, you probably are well within your right to do because, you know, they consented to it.
I disagree.
Well, I think the problem is that's the grey area. They did consent to it. Now they're out the group. Might be a little bit strange to use it. I think you're going to get nothing but a headache. Nothing but an absolute headache. It's going to be nothing but a nightmare. If they're trying to add people and message them, they're going to probably comment all over your stuff. They're probably going to try and like badmouth you. They're probably going to try and paint you out to be these horrible people and stuff like that for using them.
Yeah.
I would save yourself.
It's just not worth it.
It's not worth it. You can have, look, campaigns are long. You're going to have brilliant character moments.
And what, those 2 sessions that they were in?
Yeah, and look, we are, and you know, I know we want to make it like super authentic, but let's just say another moment arises that's similar to that moment. You can have a similar moment and they won't be there for the rest of the campaign. You can have similar conversations about the like the things that you had in those first 2 sessions. Those are going to come up again. You can have those conversations.
Oh my God, 100%.
Again, you can have them unintentionally.
Oh my God, absolutely.
You can have them intentionally and just clip them without that person there.
Absolutely. And, you know, I do completely disagree about they gave their permission, so you should be able to use them. Unless there is like a legal binding document that has been signed where they're not allowed to revoke the permission, because, you know, there is legal documents like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you're just, you know, you say here, like, we're not doing this for monetary purposes, we're just doing it for fun to share our story. I think it would actually be quite in bad faith to post clips of someone who, by the way, absolutely deserve to be kicked.
Yeah.
100%.
Just passionately kissing. Passionately kissing their partner.
like absolutely. They deserve to be kicked, and that's absolutely not not what I'm disputing here. I think it would be quite in bad faith for you to go, oh, yeah, but they said we had permission, and they've revoked it now. But at the time they said, I just don't think that would fly. Think about it this way, BoxerBriefs. If this was you, and you agreed to play in a game, and you gave permission, and then you were kicked out of the group, and things ended really badly, and then you saw clips of you being used after you had said don't use them, I can only speak for myself. That would feel terrible. And
yeah, but at the same time, it would feel terrible. But you are the reason. You were
no,
kicked out.
I completely agree.
So I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know if they've actually got a leg to stand on as to like complaining about you posting them.
Yeah, but when it comes to someone revoking their permission, I think regardless of what they've done is fucking weird, but it's not like they've murdered someone.
No, but
I think we still have to respect consent, and we still have to respect things like that, regardless of if we disagree with a person. Because, by the way, fuck that guy. But I think we still have to respect basic human rights, such as consent and permission. And if someone has explicitly said, hey, look, I revoke it, I think you as a human should respect that, regardless of kind of the gray areas in between, because I agree it is a gray area. But,
but
you wouldn't catch me dead using someone's stuff if they revoked their permission. Yeah,
I agree with you. I think I agree with you.
Yeah.
To me, this is I'm like this in all my, and you know exactly what I'm gonna say. I'm like this in every case. I do agree with you, but I am always like of the opinion, just don't be a cock in the first place.
Yeah, I know, but some people can't help themselves, right?
And that's your problem.
Yeah, no.
Do you know what I mean? And that's like, because I'm so. It's two wrongs don't make a right.
No.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
and there's so many times where, in my opinion, like you being a fucking asshole doesn't give me the right to be an asshole, but you just shouldn't be an asshole in the first place.
Like, if you want to play judge, jury, and executioner, you absolutely can. But I think when it comes to something like this, where it's like you're not necessarily playing judge, jury, and executioner because you're not calling out the bad behavior, I would understand it honestly more, because we sit on social media talking about people's bad behavior and calling it out and saying why it's unacceptable. In many ways, we put ourselves in that seat. But we make it very clear that that's our intention. I think in a situation like this, where you're not going, by the way, this person was fucking weird as fuck. When you're just using something of theirs after they've revoked permission, I think that would put you in a really precarious situation. And again, with social media, God, especially, I don't know what you're planning on putting them on. Let's use TikTok, for example. Things can go instantly 100,000 views without you doing anything. TikTok is social media is such a weird beast, and you have no idea what the repercussions of posting something online could be. How many times have we heard someone going, God, I didn't expect this to go, I hate the word viral, I didn't expect this to blow up, I didn't expect this to go viral. You never know what's going to come of this. And, I know you say you don't use it for monetary reasons, but good God, if you ever got into the realm of somehow stumbling into making monetary value off a clip that you've used with someone where they've explicitly removed their permission, that's just a really terrible...
It's a recipe for disaster.
It is. And I agree with what Jack has said as well, by the way. Save yourself the pain of this.
Save yourself the headache of all of this. It's like, you almost want to do it out of spite, being like, you've ruined these clips for us, and these clips are great, and people are going to get a good understanding of who we are and our character dynamics because of these first few sessions and what's happened in them. I get it. It's annoying. Yeah. I get it. It's frustrating.
Hey, you do not want to give this person any airtime.
You don't want to give them, and like that's the thing.
You don't want to give it to him.
Let's just say you post a bunch of clips now and you get a little bit of traction, but then you keep going, and in a few months, your TikTok blows up. They're on there, and they'll be like, hey, by the way, you owe me money. Like, that's the sort of petty bullshit that people like this will do.
And
just save yourself the headache, save yourself the problem, save future you.
Yeah.
Like, so many problems and just don't post them.
Yeah, and I would also take the high road here. I would also take the high road and respect the fact that someone has revoked their permission, and that can happen.
Even though they maybe you don't feel like they deserve your respect right now.
You know what? Especially if you don't feel like they deserve your respect right now.
That is where I fall down as a human. Because like if I feel like you don't deserve my respect, I'm not gonna give it to you.
No. I completely agree. You can not respect the person.
Yeah.
You can respect their decisions and their basic human rights.
Yeah.
You know, it is my humble opinion on that.
Even though some people don't deserve it.
No, some people, no, absolutely not. Some people truly do not deserve it.
They truly don't.
Oh
There's
my
some
God.
people in this world that don't.
No, they don't. They really don't.
But yeah, in this moment, you'd
not
be shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah, don't meet them at their level.
Yeah.
This spells out disaster.
This is
in
gonna
every
this is gonna
way.
come back and bite you in the ass so hard.
Yeah, and you know what? On the same side of the different side of the same coin, how you could post a clip and it could really blow up. All it takes is this one person to see you've done this. They say something about it. There's a huge chance that could blow up as well, and then you get it. It's
a mess.
Yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess. And I think anyone can revoke their permission for kind of anything, unless it's a legally binding document. And sometimes even in that case, that's not right either. You know. I hope that helps give you some clarity, Boxer Briefs. Fucking don't do it.
don't do it. Save yourself the pain.
Absolutely don't do it.
It may feel annoying right now, and you may feel like they've ruined the first few sessions because you can't clip them and put them on TikTok. But honestly, in the long run, you will save yourself
and
so much
once again, cannot stress enough. Absolutely right to kick this
Weird.
person out. Weird
behavior.
Weird. You know what?
Why are you
weird.
turning up? Why are you turning up just with your boxers on?
But what? And all of that aside, the only fucking chiming in when your character's talking, or when your character's being involved, and only reacting to anything. How fucking weird.
Yeah, like that pisses me off.
That
like,
pisses me off too.
I like, as a person who really tries to lift other people up around me. Do you want to know what winds me up in video games? Where it's like, oh man, I played so well. It's just like, yeah, but you only played so well because like other people around you.
Oh yeah.
Like, but that's what I mean. And like I hate selfish people. It viscerally pisses me off. Like, when you only care about yourself and nobody else around, it's just like, yeah, you are a great character, but you're only able to be that great character because everybody else around you like lifts you up and gives you those moments. Yeah. Like, so recognizing your peers is such a fucking important thing.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And that's a life lesson.
Yeah.
All right, this is the final one. This is the last one. This has been sent in by a scared new DM, and she uses she, her pronouns.
Thank you very much, a scared new DM.
Hi guys, I'm looking for some advice regarding my campaign. I'm a first-time DM. I've done a one-shot before, but this campaign will be my first longer one. The campaign itself is set in a world accidentally very similar to the anime Attack on Titan. I haven't watched it, but my roommate says it's very similar.
Cool. Like that.
If you're not sure what that is, it's basically set in a militia camp where they all train in different ways to fight these cursed-looking monsters until they beat the BBEG.
Like it.
So my story beats are all pretty simple, and I really want to focus on the character development of the individual PCs. My question is, what should I ask my players in session 0? I'm not totally sure what things I need to flesh out about their characters before the story begins. Please help, and if you have any other new DM advice, that would be very much appreciated. Love you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Going with a simple yet effective story for your first campaign is one of my favorite things to do. I had a super simple idea for my first campaign, but I just took my time and fleshed it out.
It was great, yeah.
And everybody really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed it. And then I got more complex as it went on. So the fact that you've got just this one solid ass idea is perfect.
Yeah, completely.
Because you can build things around it.
Absolutely.
Like, where did the curse come from? And there's different types of curses. And can people attract that curse? Or can they be cursed in some ways? And why is the BBG doing it? It's just like one simple idea that you can just layer and layer
totally.
and layer.
Absolutely.
Great idea. Things that you need to focus on with fleshing out the characters. What you need to do is ask them. And I say this all the time. When I get my players' backstories, Margaret comes to me with Blythe's backstory, and you say, the thing is you're great for it because you basically already know exactly what you want, and then we flesh the story on top of that. You come to me and you were like, I want to have lost my husband and my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
In when the comets fell or something before that, I want my husband to have gotten himself in hot water with his job or something like that. Perfect. So I know that we care about the husband and the daughter, and the husband's done something wrong. There we go. I need to flesh that out. That's the concept that I need to flesh out. Where Abby might come to me with a more of like a idea. Hey, I'm a girl called Dale, and I really like books, and I'm a doppelganger who crawled out of the earth. And it's just like, okay, so what do you want? Do you care more about these books? Do you care more about like finding this like a special book? Or do you want to concentrate more on the doppelganger thing? Like, where did you come from? Okay, you want to concentrate on the doppelganger thing. And the books is more just like a side note. It's taking the story in that your players give to you.
Yeah, it's really processing what they've given you and spitting it back out at them.
Yeah, it's like they tell you the story. Amazing, that's a great story. Now, which 1, 2, maximum 3 things do you want to really like drive forward?
Yeah.
Because a lot of players will give you, it's not fluff. I don't want to call it fluff because that's disrespectful. But there's a lot of world building in a lot of players' backstories. Like when Wabs came to me halfway through the thing, like he gave me a big backstory. And a lot of it wasn't even so much big. A lot of it was like world building.
Tying him into the world,
and like where he'd come from and who he was. And then you could really tell it was Myra.
Totally.
That's what he wanted to focus on. He was infected with this plague. He didn't care about that.
No,
that was just something he was living with.
Yeah, totally.
He cared about his wife.
Yeah,
and that's the aspect that we really like leaned into and made a big part of the story. So it's asking the players, okay, this is a brilliant backstory. Which bits do we really want to drive forward?
What
in
makes
the game?
you the most excited about this backstory? What do you want to explore the most?
Yeah.
And and honestly, Session 0, I think Session 0 is a great time after you've gotten the backstories in, and then you can all come together and be like, oh, I'm going to play this, and oh, I'm going to do that, and you can go through all the rules, etc. And, what Jack likes to do is he likes to take us away individually and talk to us, like, physically individually, and flesh out things like that. But truly, so... Is it your first time?
Yeah.
Your first time
First
DM?
time Dungeon Master?
I don't necessarily know if the players are first time players, but if they are first time players,
what the hell? What's this?
Yeah.
What's this roadblock?
Yeah, stay away
Move
from
this
me.
way.
I don't think I can. Oh, what the hell? Some things you could do. If they've given you backstories and they don't really have like a focal point, you could, what I did was I made a little survey and I sent it out to them, and it was just questions about their character. It's like, what does your character fear the most? What's your character's relationships? What's their main reason for adventuring? And it was basic things like that. Where does your character want to end up? Simple questions like that really help the player also think about them. And so if you've gotten the backstories and you've hit them back with those questions and they're not sure, you could just do something simple like that. And it's a lot will come out when you ask those really basic questions,
Mm-hmm. Love it. I was just thinking about my campaign.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
You know what?
I just had an idea for somebody's backstory in that moment.
Yeah, you know what? I did watch your eyes glaze over. What'd I say? Go on.
Instructions unclear. Yeah. So that's what I do. And now just a little bit of new Dungeon Master advice. Do what excites you. For the love of God, don't think that you have to take a story in a certain direction because do what excites you.
Totally.
You want the curse to be the thing, then we lean into the curse. You want it to be the curse is sort of like just a byproduct of the BBG, and you want to focus massively on the BBG, then we focus on the BBG. Only build what you need to in terms of a world and in terms of a landmass. Don't get too caught up in like making cities that are fucking thousands of miles away. What are we doing this session? Cool. I'll build that out and maybe some bits around it that we're going to get to in the next handful of sessions. That's all the world building I need to do right now. Let's play out those sessions. When we get to those outer rims of what I've planned, now we flesh that out. What's next, sort of thing like that, and just build it layer by layer by layer by layer. If you just start to stress yourself out about like world building that you may not even ever get to, you'll just get lost in the sauce.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
No, I agree.
Some people love world building. It can be quite daunting and can be quite like a large task to take on. So yeah, take backstories in, find out the focal points of each one, build them out.
The backstories will almost certainly give you story beats as well, you know?
Yes.
Like, their backstories will probably flesh out loads of things, and that's a great thing.
Hello, I'm just touching your tootsies.
Do you like how sweaty my foot is?
That's a sweaty foot.
What do you reckon?
That's a sweaty
That's a real
foot.
sweaty foot. I
That's
got a
a
real
sweaty
sweaty
ass
foot.
foot.
I got a sweaty foot under here.
Yeah.
And they will build out story beats as well. They'll honestly build out some of the world for you.
They'll probably write about 60% of your campaign for you.
Yeah.
Because they'll come to you with like these crazy ideas that you can maybe like tie into different militia camps, or into the curse, or into the BBEG, or into like a family that they want to save that they haven't seen, or like parents that they thought they'd lost.
Definitely.
It's just like they're like, I'm going into my next campaign. Josh's is the only one I haven't got fully, and I'm going in my next campaign now. Like, I could literally tell you exactly what happens in my next campaign.
Yeah.
Which stages we get to it, I do not know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
And,
I hope that helps.
Yeah. And sorry. Also on the, I want to focus on the character development. That is also something that comes with playing the game.
Yeah.
Right? The character development, your player could be like, yeah, I really want to focus on this thing. Something will happen, it will pivot. Characters, hey, you'll know. You've played D&D before. Characters' intentions change throughout, right? What they care about changes, and that's an exciting, fun thing.
Yes.
And don't be shocked if their intentions do change and their goals do change, and go with it. It's important that as the DM, you're doing what excites you, and you're also leaning into what excites the players too. Yeah. And the last piece of DM advice I have is, look, you say a scared new DM, so normal, so valid in that, and you're going to be nervous up until the moment you start. I promise. No one is judging you. No one is watching you. Everyone is so caught up in their own thing. They have brand new characters. They're seeing a brand new world for the first time. Like, everyone is nervous for their own reasons. No one is looking at you through a magnifying glass. No one cares. Everyone's so nervous, and you will settle into it. I promise.
You will. You absolutely will.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be perfect at the beginning.
Nope.
Nobody expects you to be.
You're never going to be perfect, full stop.
Yeah. Just take it as it comes, and you will find out what you love about dungeon mastering as you go.
And your players will too.
Yeah, like I used to think that combat was my most favorite thing, but I love combat. It's great, and I like having to do good like rock hard combat every now and then. But I just love telling stories.
Yeah, totally.
That's just what I fucking care about the most. Telling stories and like character journeys and stuff like that. It's just my favorite thing.
Yeah, totally. I agree. So I hope that helps. I hope you have this is the start of a wonderful, incredible journey for your campaign and your DM journey, and keep us updated.
Yeah.
That's
it. And that's it.
That's it. That's that on that.
That's that on that.
Once again, this is the last episode for the Christmas period. Yeah. We will probably be back. I don't want to say exactly when, just in case we don't. But we will probably be back. Oh my god. Probably not even the week after, to be honest with you. We probably won't be back for Monday the 30th, but we might be back for Thursday the 2nd.
Thursday the 2nd?
Yeah, maybe. Might be back for Thursday the 2nd. I sincerely doubt we'll be back for the 30th. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That'll be recording the week of Christmas.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it?
So we'll probably be back on Thursday the 2nd of Jan.
We might, you know what? We'll keep you updated.
We'll keep you updated.
Yeah,
we might record a podcast.
Yeah.
Then we might do like a small one or something like that, just to check in, just to say hi.
Yeah, indeed.
Maybe something like that.
Once again, Merry Christmas. I hope you have wonderful festive season.
Potentially, Happy New Year.
Oh my gosh,
thank you so much for coming along the journey of 2024 with the podcast.
Thank you.
For being here. It's meant a lot. We love you so much.
Mm-hmm.
The podcast has grown a lot this year.
It has. It's been insane. It's been wild. We'll do like a proper recap maybe next time we see you.
Yeah.
And we're still streaming. Please come join us over on Twitch.
If you're gonna miss us on YouTube and be like, man, how am I gonna go without the Podblast for this long? Hey, don't worry. Just come and join us at twitch.tv /Eldritch Podblast.
Yes.
We're gonna be over there streaming. Come and hang out. You don't need to sub or anything like that.
Nope.
You can just come and follow and just hang out and have a good time. We just talk about fantasy and D&D and sometimes play games and sometimes watch things and give out advice and just hang out and have a general stupid good time.
Indeed.
So come
Once
and join
again,
us.
please take care of yourself this festive season. We love you very, 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 very much.
Well, no. I love you.
Oh, I love you.
Bully loves you.
Mm-hmm.
We have been the Eldritch Podblast, and we're going to see you potentially next year. Bye!
And another huge thank you to our patrons for all of your support. A big shout out to our fellow entities.
Hoobs.
Ariel.
Tula.
Runarian.
Arkham Labs Cosplay.
Maddie. Luna.
Teddysaurus.
Caspian. J-Spot.
Ultrafail.
Dallin M.
Sleepy.
Joe Dragonlord 2.
Alistar.
Lawkeeper Society.
Ricky B.
Danny Phantom.
Catherine.
Faustskin.
Azuriel.
Panda Queen Plays.
Xylo Boy.
Lucas Iapetis.
Luna River. Christomancy.
The Tacos Are Here.
Gavin.
Raynanana.
Aubrey in Spring.
Scrimbles.
KC Joe 1313.
Keplin 1000.
Pretend Itsu Ace.
Ash Z 22.
Liaxel 8.
Farewell Fox. Thank you again for all your support.
And if you too would like to become a patron of the Eldritch Podblast, check the link below.